you exhaust your life for somebody else's vision. The money is not coming as you want it. There is nobody that ever gets wealthy by salary. Your youthful life is spent. It really sucks. The thought of it alone is it's making my health feel, my head is just spinning. Most of your youthful life is spent. By the time you come out retired, you're already tired. Believe me. You start maybe in your early 20s or late 20s and give it your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and sometimes you get to your 60s. By the time you are retired, you're tired. You are literally tired. So it sucks the youthful life out of you. Can we talk about 9 to 5 today? I'll be doing a series on 9 to 5 because I've done 9 to 5 for 2 decades and I have a whole lot of experiences to share with us. Today we'll be talking about the problems of 9 to 5. 9 to 5 should never be for somebody who is vision oriented, somebody that wants to do his own job, somebody that wants to do papers, somebody that is intentional with his life should never do a 9 to 5 job. Because you won't even have time to brood. You won't even have time to circumspect. You won't even have time to think for yourself. That is how terrific 9 to 5 can be. You won't have just time, believe you me, because you're waking up as early as 5 o'clock, hitting the road by 7 to get to work by 8, settle down by 8:30, and you resume work by 9. Then hit the road again by 4:30, and getting home by 5. The day is already spent. So, how do you want to live your life doing 9 to 5? I I literally quit my 9 to 5, and this is something I've done for 2 decades. I struggled for long to know what else to do with my life because sometimes in 2013, a prophet told me that I was born to be a teacher. So all my mind was immersed in the fact that okay, it should be a classroom teaching. So I literally stuck on, I literally stayed on. But then I wasn't finding fulfillment. Um I wasn't finding the kind of joy I needed. You sure that made me to create a teenagers platform called Creative Minds. But that was not even it. Personally, I was not fulfilled. I knew this was not my purpose. But what else can I do? How else can I teach? Aside the prophet telling me that I was born to be a teacher, I knew that once I'm in the classroom, it's so interesting that some students will have to gather around, some will have to sit in for my classes. That was how interesting my classes were. But then it was more than the classroom stuff. I was tired, I felt stuck, not be able to do you. You were literally working for another man's vision. You were literally living for another man's time. You're literally living for another man's papers, all the government papers. But then you are stuck. Your time is limited. You don't have your time. It is controlled by the system where you work. They give you break time, they give you holidays, and they checkmate you, you know. You can't even think right, you can't even think straight. That's if really you want to do vision for yourself because your time and everything about you is tied to another person. I have friends that do 9 to 5, and one of the things they will tell me is that okay, I can sew, I do some sewing, I do baking as a side hustle. Now you've taken your papers and your vision as a side hustle, and another man's job as the main thing. So how do you intend to get fulfilled? How do you intend to get satisfied? How do you intend to work on God's plan for you if you don't want to take your side hustle as the main thing? And that is one of the things that 9 to 5 job does to anybody. I paused to receive a call, and guess what? I just received an alert from my business. Somebody just sent in money. This is what I'm talking about. I sit at home, I'm creating my content, and money just. So, this is what we're talking about here. You need to get something that gives you money daily. Let's not even go too far. The Nigerian situation is really peppering a lot of persons. So somebody sent me something the other day, say T pain, that's Tinubu pain. I'm like, see, forget those things. Since I was born in this country, things have never been better. It's always going high every day. And I don't want to put the blame on government or on any institution or system that has employed me, not at all. I believe in solving problems comes the money, in solving problems comes the finance, in solving problems comes the solution. So why would you want to blame the government? Why since I was born, since I have been in this country, things have never gotten better. So all this is Tinubu, is Buhari, is this government. I don't want to. I know sometimes some come and they come with policies that favor the people and all of that, but there are still persons that are in this country, guys. You guys know this thing, and they don't understand. They live above the economy, they live above the system. Yes, they're in the same country. The fuel is this, the other, but they are still very comfortable. They still live in this country and they don't feel some of the crunching pains most of us feel, right? You can't be living um, on salary when you spend daily. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't tally. Not at all. This one sucks. If you observe a lot of persons that do 9 to 5, they do it in their youthful time. 9 to 5, most times, take the whole of your youthful life. It takes a greater part, let's say from your early 20s to your late 40s or 50s, or even 60s, depending on what ministry or what job you are doing. So by the time you're out of 9 to 5, your whole life is spent. Your whole life is exhausted. The youthful energy in you you're supposed to use to do something for yourself, it's gone. So how, how in the world with somebody who wants to do you want to do purpose, you want to be intentional, do 9 to 5? Because thank God I had to quit, because I can't imagine myself. I've done this for 2 decades and I can tell the truth. There is nothing to write home about it. My youthful life, virtually, that was one of the things that caused me very apprehensive. I had mind to quit by December to see, okay, let me push this. But there was that urge in me, there was that inner pushing me to just quit, to just let it go and all of that. And I just had to throw in the towel because I realized I was not moving. Yet the system was moving, but I was not moving. I was stuck in a particular point. So imagine spending 4 decades of even 5 decades of your life to build somebody else's vision. And by the time you come out, you're tired. By the time you come out, your youthful life is spent. By the time you are out of that place, you have nothing for yourself but to go and sit down and nurse. And sometimes when people come out, that's when they start, oh, I want to have a fish pond. I want to do this. I want to build that. The strength is not even there to do those things. So it's the one, it sucks because you exhaust your life for somebody else's vision. The money is not coming as you want it. There is nobody that ever gets wealthy by salary. Your youthful life is spent.